We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Hey up, everybody. Welcome back to Late Night Leeds. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds with me, Sean and Adam. This is what's coming up on tonight's show. Now then, fellas, how are you doing, chaps?
We're doing well.
All good, thank you.
Better. We're doing better, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like that international break, isn't it? Really shaky at the beginning after the QPR result. As the weeks went by, as the days ticked off and it got closer to the next game, you feel a little bit better. We'll get into it, obviously, after the presser yesterday. Perked me up a little bit, but still very nervous. It's going to be a sleepless night, boys, I think.
Yeah. I'm a stupid optimist, though. So, all the emotion comes out after the game. I'm angry at everything. And then the week goes by and it just tampers down a little bit. And then you think, yeah, we'll win tomorrow. And then we're right back on it. We're still second, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard not to get optimistic, is it? Because I think we're just in a blip and we know we can play well. This is the thing. We know we're good enough.
Yeah, we do.
So you've got to be optimistic. You know, one good result, some bad results for Sheffield and Burnley, and it just changes everything completely, doesn't it? We'll all be positive again. So
100%.
Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for tomorrow.
Just a little bit of info to get stuck into before we get into it. So you got Wilco White, Sean, who's on screen now. He's 36 away from 200 subs. Please go check him out. The link's in the description. You've got Passion for Leeds, my mate Callum, 55 away from his first 100. Get over there. And Danny Talk Sport as well. Danny runs is close to 200, so go over there and help him out. There's a poll. Now I'm just going to put the poll in the chat. So this one, because the legend of the week, which we're going to talk about later, from last week, who won the poll, Marcelo Bielsa, which is a great segment to have on a week where we're all a little bit down and worried about, nervy about the promotion push. So we thought it'd be a decent segment to put in the poll this week, the players who played in the first season back in the Premier League under Bielsa. So don't laugh when you see this poll, because there's 4 players in there. We have to put 4 in there. And yes, it's when you look at one particular, it looks a very strange poll. But remember, this season, these 4 players were instrumental to us finishing 9th, so don't shoot the messenger. We had to put them in there. But yeah, this might be the only poll that ever has 100% on one player, but we'll see. And yeah, 2 last things to mention. Just want to say a big send us condolences as a 3. And I know everybody in the chat will be the same to Darren and Dillo on Leeds Bros who lost their dad yesterday. I know a lot of people watch a lot of channels in this community, so you'll all, a lot of you will probably understand and know what I'm talking about. So yeah, they lost their dad yesterday very suddenly. I spoke to Darren earlier today. So yeah, just pass on that. I know you to echo that as well. So I just wanted to highlight that. The thoughts are with you and your family, Darren and Dillo, and I know you'll get through it. And on a positive note, the channel, Imagine Not Being Leeds, hit 2,000 subs today. So thank you so much for everyone's support. Thank you to Adam. Thank you for Sean for helping, promote Late Night Leeds. This is a great show. Really enjoy it. My favourite part of the week. I know it is your guys too, and all the other bits and bobs I do. Anyone who's helped me along the way, content creators, subscribers who are now friends, and just everyone who's helped me along the way to get to 2K. You all know who you are. Thank you so much. It's been great 6 months, so much appreciated. And like Danny says here, let's not forget about Adam, who doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, but he does a lot of mistakes with Adam. YouTube, he better not get another YouTube channel.
My ego's too fragile. I couldn't handle it. If no one watches,
don't know the half of it. What he does behind the scenes.
I'll be on there every minute looking if someone's liked it, who's watched it. I wouldn't want to do it. No thanks.
100%. But yeah, that's a poll out the way. That's the bits and bobs out the way. We're going to get into the review for the Swansea game. I know it seems a lifetime ago. It's almost a week ago, but we've got to talk about it. But before we do, let's bring in my good pal, Statman Sean. Statman!
I've actually got that top on as well today.
I love it.
And you look happier. It's nice.
Feeling it, yeah. It's like I've just said off air, it's funny stats this week because it don't feel like it's correct for how the game went, I actually thought we were looking at some different stats, but we'll go through it anyway. So, possession, Leeds United 55%, 45% Swansea. Passes 433 passes for Leeds United, but only 79% passing accuracy, which was 244. Swansea actually had 352 passes in that game, which is a lot for an away side. Leeds, I know, we're waiting now.
Mate, I mean, he's got one job.
One job.
Here I go. Still been looking at chat.
Surprisingly, Leeds had 211 passes in their own half and only 133 in the opposition's half, which is poor for our standards.
Yeah.
Shots, we had 15 shots altogether, 4 shots off target, 7 shots on target, and 4 blocked shots. Defensively, tackles won. We only won 7 of us tackles, which is 54% of us tackles won, which is poor for Leeds. Swansea winning 67% of their tackles. Interceptions, Swansea made 12. We only made 7. Clearances, we amassed 28 clearances, which again shows that Swansea did really push on to us. Duels, which I thought were interesting. We only managed to win 48% of our ground duels. Swansea coming out on top there with 52%. Aerial duels, though, we did actually amass 68% of his aerial duels, which I thought was surprising. Ratings-wise, top rating was Rothwell with 7.7. Interestingly, he won all his duels, did Rothwell, in that game. He won 6 out of 6 ground duels, and he won only one aerial duel, but he won it. And he were also successful, 4 out of 4 successful dribbles. So you can see why he got that rating. Lowest rating for us was Joseph at 5.8. I mean, he lost all 3 of his ground duels, did Joseph. Really didn't do much. Committed 1 foul, 8 touches of the ball, and 1 pass completed in the time that he was on. So again, Matty or Joseph, ineffective in that game, as we all saw.
Yep.
As he always is. As he seems to be. Like I say, it's hard because he doesn't get much time, does he? But I think the most interesting things for that is, as you say about the territory, I think they didn't pass it around the back. They played the ball forward fairly quickly. They played more passes in our half than their half. And the game, we passed around more at the back. So the game was played in our half pretty much. And there's something in that as a football game. And that's what they made sure happened. Play territory. Very rugby union.
The pressed us high as well. You know, they pushed us back, and we don't like it, do we? When teams push onto us and press us, we seem to struggle. And in that game, I was calling for Tanaka at half time because we needed somebody with a bit more of a calmer head to just put the foot on the ball. I mean, he did come on, didn't he? But it didn't obviously work out as what we wanted. But we can get into that, can't we? The lineup and what did you boys think of the lineup?
I think by the way, I just thought of this. I got to say, I won't forget. But teams play against us now like it's rugby union. They play territory. They kick for the corners. They go for throw-ins, line-outs. They try and get it into the box in the air. It's like it's all just and they swarm us. It's all territory, and it keeps happening. Is exactly. I know we'll get into it again. What Luton will do tomorrow. They're probably the worst team we could play, I think.
It seems really simple, doesn't it, Adam? That all the team has to do is put a long ball over.
Yeah.
And then just press high, and we struggle a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, pressing high, like we should have good enough players to play through it. So same wrong with the patterns of our play. That means we're not getting enough. There's not enough players available. Like because we pin the fullbacks. Teams don't really do what we do anymore. A lot of teams play with one inverted fullback. As Fark did a bit last season, early season, and Byron does it. But our fullbacks tend to play a bit wider. And when we're building up from the back anyway, and you got the wingers wide as well. So your limitation, how many players you can let pass, it's all the build up in the 4, and we always build up the same way. Aronson doesn't really get involved in the build-up in first phase. So then teams, it's such. I mean, every team has a structure, but you got to be able to adapt slightly and go. Oh, Brendan, why don't you drop back 10 yards, get involved as an extra player, but extra player in the build-up? And then they've got a choice: do they go with him or do they leave him? And if they leave him, we've got a free man to build through because they're sitting a bit further back with the defence, and their forwards are all pushing onto us. So we've got to tweak, and hopefully Fark spent this week tweaking slightly what we do in the build-up because when it was good, it was working really well, and it was on top. Teams didn't know how to deal with it. Now teams found a way to deal with it, And there's a blueprint that's working.
Teams have changed the way they're playing against us now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Teams have changed. Like earlier in the season, it was low block, play that out against Leeds, take him as deep as you can into the game. And I think what happened then was we sort of figured out how to score against a low block, and then it were ineffective because as soon as you get that goal, they've got to come out, and that's when we're winning 2s, 3s, and 4s, wasn't it? Now, sides are playing the opposite. They come to Welling Road and they're having a go. And the intensity's there. And I'm massive on the whole. It's really basic and a bit of a cliche, but you've got to win the fight in order to show your quality as the game prevails. And we've got all the quality in the world at this level, miles better than nearly every side. There's a conversation that the sides who we're competing with, autos, have similar depth of quality, or similar, close to anyway in terms of numbers of their squad. But in terms of the rest of them, we should blitz them all the way on quality. But if you're not showing up and putting 100% effort and up for the fight, like they wanted 3 points at Ellen Road more than we did. And we're, I'm a big believer that people say, yeah, but there were 6 points above relegation. They're fighting for their lives potentially. But we're fighting for promotion. So why do these smaller sides, smaller clubs, always raise their percentage? Why can we never raise ours? Why are we always sat waiting, hoping that quality will prevail? We need more people who are going to be dogged and be in for that fight. And we haven't had it in a long while, that. We talk about Ampadu being in and him having that. He went off the boil in that game, fair enough. But he's probably one of the players you look at and goes, he's got that bite. We need more players like that.
Yeah, we do. We do lack bite. We do lack fight at times. We do, we don't do enough of the nasty parts of the game. We don't go and shove players. We don't like someone stand there, one of our players, we tend to just let them do it. Go and shove him off the pitch. Go and move him out of the way. Like stick up for each other. We don't do a lot of that at all. I think we're really placid. We're a really placid side that tries to beat people with nice football. I think as well, so we're saying about the teams playing a certain way against the low block. They're going, let's not sit back and let them get us. Let's come out a little bit. There's a high block. As I say, I've said about 8 times now in different streams, but their defence necessarily doesn't push up the 20 yards well. It might push up 10 yards. Still, and where the space is usually in the middle of the pitch, and it's Aronson. Now, Aronson hasn't got the quality to make that transition work. Even when he gets in a bit of space, he'll turn. Even if he won't play a nice ball in front of Dan James. He'll play it slightly behind him. So that's where you need Nonto. I think Nonto will change because teams might be a little bit more worried about Nonto in there. They know his pass detail, his ability is much more than the Aronson. We stop being so defensive and go, right, let's play the attacking threat, Nonto, and I think that will help us attack, but it will also help us defend because we've got, something to build out, and we'll be playing higher up the pitch as a result.
It's a good point, is that, because I'll touch on Ampadu as well, like Matty's just said, he's in the team for that doggedness.
Yeah, he is.
He just want up. He's been out too long with injury. Too soon to rush him back. On the Brendan Aronson, I think I said against when we beat Millwall, that's what I liked about Brendan Aronson. He wasn't just trying to link up with Pirro. He was actually dropping in, and he were linking up really well with the midfield as well. So we were passing it round, the Millwall midfield. And when he's not doing that, we struggle. We sort of get a bit overrun sometimes in that midfield areas, and I think that happened against Swansea. With Ampadu being off it as well, Rothwell can't do it all on his own. Although looking at the stats, he tried. He did try, did Rothwell. But if Aronson's not dropping in and doing what he needs to do as well, you're going to get overrun, especially if you've got one of your midfielders off it, like Ampadu was at the weekend.
I think it's shown as well, Sean, didn't it, how vital Tanaka is? I know when he came on, he was off it himself. He was way off it. It was partly at fault for the second goal, partly at fault for the first goal. But having a decent Tanaka in there from minute 1 is paramount to us, for me. The way we build up, the second balls he wins, the way he clears up most dangerous movements in our area, in our half. When he's not on the pitch, we felt it that first half. Granted, he came on with a paw, but that was a massive hole, I felt, not having a decent Tanaka in that midfield. For me, it's Tanaka and one. You cannot have Tanaka out of this team from now to the end of the season.
We've seen it from Tanaka. We know he can make a good tackle. We know he's good on the ball. I was disappointed that Joe Allen went through him how he did very easily.
Yeah,
maybe that's where we did sort of miss Ampadu there. Whether it would have made a difference, who knows? I know Tanaka's an all rounder, but I'm not sure what's his best. What I don't know what you'll think. What's his best sort of? What's his best stat? Ampadu? Is it his passing? Is it his tackling?
Ampadu.
Tanaka. Because he's not really in there to be a
creative
defensive midfielder, is he?
No, he's not. The thing is, so if he plays with Ampadu tomorrow, what Tanaka's best at, I think, is that first receiver role where he gets the ball from the centre backs and then he creates the play from there. And also what he has is so much ability on the ball. He can invite that extra yard of pressure on, which gives the next player receives the ball more space.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a really interesting dynamic tomorrow because I think Ampadu's the one that's going to drop it. If them two play, Ampadu's the one that drops in. Then where does Tanaka fit into this? No, it's a 4-player build-up, but there's always one of the centre midfielders rather that drops in further. I think like Tanaka's built for me to play the click role in a Bielsa team. That's who he is. He's that good on the ball, linking play. Very good, very smart footballer, can finish, can pass, just knows where to be all the time. Just that he's got a really high football IQ.
But out of the midfielders, it's Rothwell that's winning these duels in the midfield. And you wouldn't think it, would you? You'd think he'd be a bit more progressive 8.
Yeah, I get that.
But it is actually Rothwell breaking up the play and putting in the tackles at the minute. So.
He doesn't miss about Rothwell. He'll go. The problem with Rothwell, he can win a challenge certainly, but his positional when his defensive responsibilities where he falls down a little bit. I think you've got to play 2 DMs tomorrow because of the way they'll play Morris and Adebayo up front, and they'll go into them, and there'll be a lot of second balls dropping around. So I think you've got to play an Ampadu in there to just try and clean up a lot of that second balls and get around them. I think that's quite important. So
let's not start previewing yet. Yeah, that's later on. When you say 2 DMs, if people in chat or anyone here starts saying they're going to be starting Gruev and Ampadu together, I'm going to be fuming. But we'll speak about that soon. But just touching on the Swansea game, obviously, to score so early on, sometimes you can score too early in the game, can't you? And I feel like, for me, that was just evident in that game. We scored so early. We've seen it so often this season when we score 1 goal. I don't really expect us at the minute to go on and get that second and third. I expect us to ease off a little bit. And 40 seconds in, within a couple of minutes after that, for me, I thought Swansea dominated that game. And I know we were saying, Sean, like the stats don't actually back that up. But I was in the stadium. It was a really, really surreal game. I mean, the Chris and Kev, obviously had a part to play with that. It was really somber. You know what it's like. When we get around this time of year as Leeds fans, it's really emotional time. But everything in that game, it just felt really surreal. It was like I was watching Leeds play away from home rather than being at home. They had most of the ball, and we were looking to catch with Dan James on the counter. We couldn't string 2 passes together in that first half. I was 1-0 up at half time. I was sat there at half time thinking, what the chuffing hell are we doing here? Because it just didn't look like us.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though, isn't it? That it was. I thought the opposite. I was glad we scored because I think that game would have been played. If we didn't score that goal, I think it would have played out exactly the same way because it was exactly like an away performance. Whereas teams have worked us out and they don't let us build up anymore. They don't let us build any pressure, and they stop us at the source, which is the defence. I say they let us play it wide. Someone said about Jer and James, and he was really well marshalled by our left back, but. What they do when they come wide, when the fullback's got the ball, he needs 2 free options. Looking up, there's never 2 free options. There's James, which if James either goes or comes short. If he goes, the left back is booting him up in the air, not letting him past.
Go on, keep going. Adam, sorry. His name's Adam. Keep going.
Oh. Yes, me. If he goes, he kicks him up in the air, and if he comes short, the defenders, like the Championship defenders, just go right up your arse, and they don't give you any space. And James isn't that sort of player. He might spin away, but he doesn't do it all the time. It's not very easy. So I think they just worked us out that we just build into the fullbacks and go from there. That's our game plan completely exclusively. Now, early in the season, you built in Bogle's space because people will throw about James. He's selling 15 yards of space. He looks up. Aronson comes on the angle. Perot drops in. James can either dart behind or come short. And he's got lots of options. They've cut all that out now. Everyone knows, okay, funnel them wide. We want to go wide anyway. You don't have to funnel us. You go wide, and then they go, okay, now we can pack that part of the pitch. It's a high press going on, but actually, there's almost a second round of pressing that just stops us building up at all. And once we're stopped at that, we don't ever play. We never play through the middle, right? We never build through the middle. We just don't do it. We might occasionally boot it into Perot, and then we start doing what we did at QPR, which me and Sean talked about. Is taking long goal kicks because we haven't got an idea. We're definitely no ideas how to build it up. So we start going long and playing exactly what the opposition want us to do.
And that's because we haven't got a proper 10, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
we're not going to go through
the
middle because we haven't got a proper 10. And then we're getting doubled up out on the wings at the minute. I think Bogle's been off it slightly as well. And I think he's been asked to do a lot of work down on the wings, especially creative, creating chances. And he's been slightly off it. And with obviously, Solomon and James getting doubled up on, James ain't getting that space. I think we do need a slight change in them wide areas.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe a bit more of a trickier player in there that can take on a couple of players and create their own space. You're exactly right what you said, Adam. You're right exactly what you said there.
It's about space. Sorry, space for wingers, space for fullbacks. Second half versus QPR, Nonto comes in. He drifts into wider areas. Suddenly, you got 3-on-2s in wider areas. Not one of them's free. That's something that the other team doesn't know where to go with him. Do they want to send him midfield? Do they want a DM going with him wide? And that's what creates space. You've got to create overloads. You can't just rely on people taking people on all the time or chipping it over a defence. You've got to create overloads and availability and triangles and work around a team, work through a team. Farke at the moment, last few games, and that's why this week's massive for him. Show is that me? Actually, starting Nonto will make a big difference to this team. He can drop in receiver and centre backs to the DMs, but also I think he'll be more readily available. And but what he will not do is he'll play further away from Perot. He will. So we can't just chipping balls up to Perot and hoping for the best.
Anyway, Nonto, he drifts, and we've seen it before. Like you say, he'll come on for James, but he'll drift centrally. He'll drift, and that does create space in other areas. We're just not finding them areas at the minute.
Let's just. I think we all sort of agree that we aren't playing too well at the minute. Honestly, I don't know how I get you 2 foot money. You know what I mean? I don't even pay these two.
We're rambling.
I love it, mate. You know what you're talking about. I'm going to stay to steer the ship. So we can't talk about this game as a review without talking about Ilan Millier. Right, I know he's been spoken about all week. We've touched on where we were struggling outfield, which is fair because he can't cop all the flack. He can't cop all the flack at all. That second goal, there were an accumulation of errors there before it even gets to the boot of the player that puts it past Millier. But just want to touch on the Millier debacle before we speak about the preview later on, where we'll touch on Darlow and whether we're happy with that or not. But let's just talk about Millier for now. The mistake for the first goal changed the game for me. I think we win that game 2-0, 3-0. If that doesn't happen, genuinely, I think we get a second goal in the second half. I think that conceding that goal made it a lot more nervous than it needed to be. The error was unforgivable for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th time this season. It was uncharacteristic of a goalkeeper, but very characteristic of Ilan Millier. And unfortunately for us, we're vying for promotion against sides that have very good goalkeepers. And having a really good goalkeeper to having a really shit goalkeeper, it's not even like he's close. The gulf is unbelievable in levels between how good their keepers are to ours. It's a point swing of, we say it's cost us out in between 7, 8, 9 points, right up to 15, I've seen people say. But when you think of the points those keepers have won them, that gulf could be 20 plus points. Do you know, when you actually look at the difference in what they've saved them to what he's cost us, it's more than 10, 15 points. It's probably pushing 30 if you compare him to Burnley keeper Trafford. It's unbelievable how poor he's been this season, and for someone, I feel sorry for him. It must be horrible, but he gets paid a lot of money to play for Leeds United as a goalkeeper. If he can't fucking do it, then you've got to bring him out. And finally, I know a lot of people have been saying on my channel this week, since the press conference, it hasn't been Farke's decision. Whatever the decision, we will never know. I think it is Farke's decision. He'll have had pressure from top 100%, but ultimately, he's come out. Thank God the decision's been made, whoever's done it. It needed to happen, did it, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow that.
Yeah, I've had enough of Millier. I don't want to see him play for Leeds anymore. He's a obviously must be a cracking lad, you know. But he makes a lovely, was it coq au vin? Is it French? Is it a coq au vin? Probably makes a lovely coq au vin. But I don't want to see him in goal for Leeds United anymore. Is it coq au vin?
Only on this show can we talk about cocks in vans. Only on this show.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is, Adam?
Yeah, it's a van full of cocks. Yeah. It's a van full of cocks.
Maybe you need to take up being a chef or something like that, because I do not rate him as a goalkeeper. You're right. I mean, just on them 3 mistakes, Sunderland, Hull, and Swansea, 6 points straight away we've lost just from them mistakes alone. Creme brulee, Danny, yeah, love that. I've had enough of him.
Yeah,
I think he were at fault, definitely for the first and possibly for the second. But you could put the second on 3 players straight away there. I think if you look at the goals conceded,
look at Adam.
if you see, we'll keep that on. If you look at the goals conceded throughout the season over the past few years by Meslier, they are poor for any goalkeeper. You look out of the top 10 goalkeepers in the Championship. Okay, some have made one mistake, error leading to a goal. Melior's the only one that's got 3 this season. But like you've just said, Matty, you can also add numerous goals. That's cost us points. I'm sick of this. That is low on confidence. I think it's rubbish. He should be on it high after saving a penalty. He was playing well.
It was best game in ages.
You can't tell me that's a goalkeeper low on confidence. So that's a lack of ability. Not being able to catch a football.
The thing is, by the way, he played too well for him. Like he'd outperformed himself by so much. Yeah. He thought, he just thought, I've done enough now. Like, when the ball was about 6 yards from him, right, he's going up to catch it. And did you think he was going to catch it? So you saw him, he was in a yard of space in his 6-yard box. I thought, he's going to fuck this up, isn't he?
I didn't think that.
And I laughed when he dropped it. I laughed because I thought, what? Of course you can do, because he's had such a good game beforehand.
Yeah.
It's the players that've got no confidence in him. You know, we as fans have got no confidence. I cringe every time the ball goes near him. Yeah. And then when he does catch a ball, he gets a round of applause. That's how bad it is. You know, any other keeper is catching that football for me in this league. You know, the second goal, I still think he jumps out of the way. He makes the wrong choices all the time. He could have saved that with his feet. He could have stuck a leg out and saved it with his feet. Priestley
would have saved that in the Creators Cup, I'm telling you now.
Definitely.
The second goal, if a worse keeper doesn't have time to move, it hits him straight. I took when the shot was taken and then when the ball passed him and put it over the top, and it would have hit him straight in the leg. It would have hit him straight in the shin. A worse keeper would have just not moved, and it would hit him straight in the leg, and they would have saved it. He somehow jumped up out of the way of it and tries to get him back down to it. I mean, that is such bad technique.
I look at him, and even passing out from the back. I don't know if his mum's in the stands watching him, but he delays so much on the ball. He'll fake to go left, fake to go right. He's not confusing anybody. You know, he reminds me of a little kid. I mean, he's supposed to be a man. How old is he? 24, 25? It looks like he's a 15-year-old kid.
This is what gets me, mate, that people keep saying he's young. He's been playing 5 seasons now as Leeds United's number 1. Like, I aren't going down this. He's young for a keeper, yeah, but he's not young for 200-plus games now. 200.
I don't care if he's 11.
That's what I mean. He gets that ball. He gets that ball to it at his feet, and he holds onto it and holds onto it and holds onto it. It's like, oh, look at me, Mum. I've got the football. I've got the ball. I've got the ball. Look.
It's right. It's right, though, isn't it?
You don't know where to pass it. The defenders don't know who's going to pass it to. And then when he finally decides he's going to pass it, the bloody other team have got back. They've sorted themselves out. They've got into the formations. They get into the pressing lanes. He slows it down where Darlow doesn't do that.
Do you know what, Sean?
Puts it on the floor and he passes it out straight away.
Sorry. Do you know what? When I was I watched I was doing a Bielsa highlight thing. So a lot of the Bielsa stuff I was watching was moves, and the keeper Messi got the ball a lot during the moves. He'd take 1-2 touches maximum every single time. He'd release it to a centre back, and if he didn't, I'm sure Bielsa would have had a right go at him.
Yeah.
So it must be instruction. Just take your time, reset every time.
But Gallo don't do that, Adam. That's the thing.
We'll see tomorrow. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Because we need to.
He don't delay like Melier does. He slows it so. Like I said, Rodon and Strike don't know who's going to pass to sometimes.
No.
So even they don't know.
So, anyways, the game finished 2-2, as we know. Fuming. Don't want to talk about any more. Waste too much time when I should have been sleeping this week.
I'm good till honestly morning if you want. I'm good.
Honestly, it's been the most negative week I've known since I've been on YouTube. It's been awful. But anyway, so 2-2, and this is the predictor table. So Adam, take it away. All the scores accumulated. Added
very little's happened in the last 2 weeks because all us idiots keep thinking Leeds are going to win. Morons.
But we've got 83 people in here now. So please subscribe if you're new here. Much appreciated. And Adam's going to let you know what this means if you're.
Yes, I'll let you know what it means. That's a good idea. So we need to get our score predictions in so we are on every Friday. So there's 2 games between now and next one. There's Luton tomorrow, and there's Borough, which is Tuesday, I think. Not Wednesday, It's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah. So we need a score for each game, somehow written clearly so we know what games you're talking about, and a goal scorer for each game. What happens is you get 3 points for a correct score, 1 point for a correct result, and 1 point for a goal scorer. So you can only one goal scorer, please, and in each game. And you can get 5 points in total per game. So if you got everything right, you could pick 10 points up over the next 2 games, even if you're new to it. At the moment, Sean is top. The last 2 games, hardly anyone's got any points because everyone's predicting Leeds wins, as I say. But we are playing for the Burley Banksy right there, which is a signed, and he's made it, painted it, I guess. It's a painted canvas, and it'll be sent out to the winner at the end of the season. Was there 7 games left now? So yeah, Sean is currently top, but you can catch him. So get all your score predictions in with your goal scorers, please, for the next 2 games.
It's a fix.
And that's why Adam, I'm pissed off with Melier, because I had this down for 2-0. And if he hadn't dropped that ball, I guarantee we'd have gone on to win that game 2-0.
Yeah.
So that's even made it even worse.
Yeah.
Quality. So yeah, get your score predictions in with 1 goal scorer. Joe Blackman, I might try it again.
Well, Joe, what did Joe go for? He went for 7-0 and Bamford. I mean, that's probably. I know it's tongue in cheek, but that is the worst prediction we've had yet.
Of course it is.
You won't like mine. I've gone 1-1.
Oh, mate. Let's say ours.
I'm going to put mine in. I'm going to put mine in.
Pirro.
Mine is, I think 1-1 as well, sadly. And
yeah,
I'd go Perot, same as Sean. It doesn't help me catch you. That doesn't. And what about Borough?
Oh, I've got to put Butter in as well. Yeah, everyone's got to put Butter as well. Yeah, get your score predictions.
It's away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Borough on a very good form.
I think we beat them 1-0 away.
All right, I'll go 2-1 then, and I'll go Perot again. Why not?
Willie Nonto.
Okay, cool.
Do I have to? Can you write that down?
No, that's fine, mate. I can do that. That's okay.
I put mine in chat anyway, so yeah, happy days. I think we'll win 2-1, which we'll get into predictions for. Well, preview, won't we, for Luton? But I think we win 2-1, and I think we win 2-0. I'm predicting that we turn it round, even though I am shitting myself.
You've not gone 5-0, 4-0?
No, that goes to show you how nervous I am. Wait until we get back to an home game, then I'll be all over that, mate. Wayne Dawson, I predict a riot. 2 right. So yeah, we're going to go into last week's. This is really, for me, we couldn't have picked a better poll last week than the managers, because it would either going to be Don Revie, Howard Wilkinson, or Marcelo Bielsa. There were David O'Leary in there too, but he was just making up the numbers really. Marcelo Bielsa won, and if you ever needed a week where we wanted to speak 10-15 minutes about a legend, a previous player or manager, for me, this is the week we needed to pick me up. So I am buzzing to say we get to discuss and talk about the man Bielsa for the next 10 or 15 minutes and what he brought to Leeds. And Adam, very so kindly, has done what he normally does and done us a bit of a Bielsa highlight reel. So here it is. Sit back and enjoy this, because this is class, although I haven't seen it yet. So let's go.
I don't know if you'll hear it.
I love this man.
Oh, mate. I love him too. I think he cried doing it, honestly.
I can imagine it was fun doing it. I absolutely love this guy.
Is this bit?
Oh, you need to hire that up. Ipswich.
It's Twitch. What a guy. What a guy, honestly.
Now this is
Football we played.
Bielsa
Football
ball.
we played, man. Come on.
How easy does it all look? I know it's because it's goals. Like, goals look easy because, you know, there's so much rubbish in between.
Look how they step over the ball. Like, look how good we were.
Yeah.
Seriously. The football was just stunning, wasn't it? We just
Jack
never.
Clark,
No, I remember this.
West Brom
so
early
well.
goal.
Oh, Pablo. What a player.
Patrick
There's one
Bamford.
coming
What
up,
a
I
player he was,
I
that
love that.
Bamford guy.
I love that kit there.
Who's he?
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
I wish we
Where's
had
he
that
been?
striker again.
Pablo again.
Yeah,
Right, finish that.
I think it's this. No, it's not this goal.
It's Berardi, look.
Berardi scores. We're on the pitch. Berardi
That's-
scores. We're on the pitch.
Click. Oh, finish.
Go on.
This one, what an absolute! That were a great team move and all,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was. It was class that. Dallas playing it right back, come out of nowhere.
Eddie, good header that.
Get here.
Oh,
Tyler Roberts.
yes.
Here he is versus Swansea.
Here we go. Honestly, best moment ever. That one, it. That I just. Oh my word, that was best moment ever in lockdown. That.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
His own road.
I say, and you can just. It's still just all over City Centre now with stuff and all over
Yeah.
City. You know, it's just.
Oh, look at that.
I just love him. Honestly, I just absolutely loved him. He's just everything you'd want in a manager and more. And we were so lucky, so spoilt to have him at Leeds United, honestly. And people said enjoy it because you'll never experience it again. And I think I enjoyed it. I won't lie. I'm sure you guys did. But
so much fun.
it's
It was such a.
you look back now,
long-
though, it just seems to have flown by, didn't it? You know, it just flew
Yeah.
by, you know.
Yeah.
But 3 amazing seasons under him. You know, even the first one that ended in heartbreak. We'd gone from, you know, we had an all right season under Gary Monk, then we finished 7th, which was best we'd known it in years, you know, and then another shit season, I think, after that. And then when Bielsa came in, he just took subpar players who were, you know, say we don't
That's
employ Bielsa and we employ just another championship manager. That same side finishes 13th for me, 12th, 13th,
yeah.
14th. You know, out at playoff race with 10 games to go. It's just curtains. It's one of those mid-table sides already on the beach, as I say, with the same players. He comes, and I remember that first game just thinking, what the chuff has he done with these? That first game, when it's Stoke, they just come down. We're thinking we're going to get tanked. We're thinking we're going to get tanked. Because, to be fair, that Stoke side that came down had a lot of decent players still in that. And we absolutely smashed them. You got Click playing, who'd been out in Wilderness year before. Calvin Phillips, who no one really asked for, looked like a world beater. Literally, in one pre-season, they look like a different animal. And I don't think there's many coaches in the world who can do that in one pre-season.
Mate.
It's how humble he was as well. You know, the
Yeah.
things he did behind the scenes. You know, the training ground. He changed all that round in here, and living in a little apartment above a shop and sitting on a bucket, walking to training.
Madness.
You know, this guy just, he was so humble. Murder ball. Come on. I just loved it. I just loved everything about the guy. He was such a nice man. El Loco, wasn't he? El Loco.
Mate.
You know why he was called El Loco as well?
Yeah, because of the grenade.
So there were the grenade, yeah. So a load of Newell's All Boys fans turned up outside his house because they wanted him to resign. So he walked out with a grenade in his hand and said, "If you don't leave now, I'll pull the pin."
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely legend, mate.
I was looking into a bit of it, and he apparently even had a physical altercation with a groundsman, a construction worker groundsman, because the training ground wasn't finished on time. So they had a scuffle as well. It just mentally, it would. But he didn't seem like that when he came to Leeds. He was a lot calmer, obviously a lot older. But he's also, I was looking, he locked, I think it was Atletico Bilbao. He locked himself in a hotel room for like 3 months to study the opposition teams. Crazy guy, Before he met Leeds, before he came to Leeds, sorry, he'd already watched all the opponents.
Look at,
can I just going to face it? Honestly,
Sean, look at that right quick. Honestly, Danny, don't do it, mate.
That's not what we're doing at the moment, Danny.
I know, Danny. I know murder ball, and you message me saying murder ball ruined a lot. But don't, mate. It's all positive with Bielsa. We're not even talking about when he got sacked.
By the way, so I've done that. I've done those clips. That's all Championship. I've not taken. Now he got his ninth in the Premiership, but that's all Championships. All the positives. It's up to that point, it was incredible, absolutely incredible. Like we'll never see, things that went wrong at the end. Blah blah blah. No manager or person will ever come into our club and be as transformative again in a positive way ever.
And I'll just say that with what Danny's put. You ask any of those players, they would not change a thing of how Bielsa elevated their career.
No. Let's be fair.
One bad thing about
Let's be
Bielsa.
fair, Sean, right? I know Bamford's had a crocked last few years, yeah? But I bet he wouldn't change out for that England cap and that Premier League football. I bet he wouldn't change a thing.
But Bielsa warned him. This squad will only last 3 seasons, and they didn't change it. They didn't take that warning. They didn't buy didn't get new players in. Bielsa warned them, I can get you where I want to get you, but these players will only give you 2 or 3 seasons, and that's exactly what they did. And they tried to push for an extra season out of him. No chance. So he did warn him.
If you like, you say about players buying into it, and they all bought into it, and look what happened to Bamford, 17 goals in the Premier League. He took Calvin Phillips from a mid-table Championship player to England's Player of the Year.
Yeah, Bamford got an England cap.
Phillips had a lot to do with it, but he did a lot of that. He's the biggest. If Bielsa didn't get involved, that would never happen for Phillips. Murdball, all that other stuff. It's fine.
Look at the drop off from Phillips now. Now he hasn't got Bielsa next to him.
Absolutely.
Proves it, doesn't it, mate?
17 Premier League goals that season. 17 Premier League goals. How many players have scored? How many top strikers have failed to score 17 Premier League goals in the season?
That is a pinnacle of Bamford's career. That pinnacle.
It was a pinnacle of nearly all their careers. All Cooper, all
of course it was.
Let's be fair, Adam. How long will it be till we have another Leeds player score 17 goals in Premier League? Hopefully it's next season. But 17 Premier League goals. We always run about a 20-goal scorer. They're hard to find. We had one in Bamford who almost got to 20 goals. 17 is unbelievable in the Premier League.
Hat-trick against Aston Villa. I mean,
that one is pinnacle. That was the pinnacle.
I mean, the goal against Leicester, banging it in top corner, like Bamford, he led the line by himself, ran around, occupied 2 defenders, shithoused his way through it, had really good quality, held the ball up, did all the running. He was,
I love this. I agree with these, Adam. I do agree with these. We're no fans. A lot of people don't. I agree with these.
Yeah. I mean, no fans. Yeah, okay.
There's still goals, I know, but there's reasons for that. But yeah.
Yeah, but even the Spygate, how he came out and did that, 70-minute talk. He knew Derby better than Frank Lampard did. He knew Derby better than their own manager.
It all came out, and he called a press conference, and everyone thought, he's quitting.
It was magical. It was absolutely magical. The fact he goes into so much detail. Football is this guy's life. Literally 24/7.
That stopped football in this country. Whilst Bielsa, everyone watched it. Sky Sports, everything stopped football-wise, and for the week, everyone was talking about that Bielsa press conference. No other manager does that. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'd play watching training. Believe it or not, I knew everything already, and now I'll show you."
Yeah.
Because I know more than everyone else, because I do more research and more methodical. Yeah. I'm better at this than everyone else is.
Frank Lampard's sitting there thinking, "Shit, I didn't even know that about that." Oh, really?
By the way,
he probably took a lot from that.
And people want to talk about Murderball and this and the other. Ask Pep Guardiola, ask Pochettino, ask loads of other managers, all these disciples. Now, I agree, you can pick up certain bits from him. I mean, ask any player that played under him. There's a few that don't like him, but that's like Pontus, Saiz. Players that weren't willing to toe the line disappeared. Yeah. But if you toed the line, he got the best out of you as a player. And the amount of players in that squad, that was, as we said, the pinnacle of their career.
Yep.
Lots of them.
They never got to those levels if it weren't for him. And like I say, I know anyone joining midway might be thinking, why we're speaking about Bielsa. It's just a segment of this channel. we put a poll of people coming in like, why are you talking about Bielsa? Just let him go. I wish we hadn't let him go. I love the guy. There aren't many people who could be in charge of your football team, and I know Leeds United's bigger than any one person. It is, but if there's ever a time where it come close to loving someone as much as the club, honestly, he was the guy. I mean, to lose a game of football and still not want the guy out when you've been pumped 3s and 4s for multiple weeks in a row, I still loved him. And honestly, when he got sacked, I was outside Ellen Road crying, and then I had a Leeds Live lovely journalist put a phone in my face and start interviewing me while I was crying. It wasn't my finest hour, but I was absolutely in bits. I was in. It was like I say, I've got his photo behind me on wall, and the kids actually think it's the granddad. I aren't even going to tell them it's not. And it's like it was like a passing of a family member. I know it sounds a bit over the top, but it really was. I've never felt anything like it in sport. I've followed rugby, football, watched England games and watched it get knocked out of tournaments. There's never been any emotional feeling like I had when Bielsa got sacked. That was the worst day I can remember in a long time. And I know a lot of Leeds fans echo that. So I remember Joe Wayman crying on stream, and I remember him not giving a shit, and he was actually crying on stream. And this is what that guy did to you. He took football from just, as a Leeds fan, to just watching it methodically through the years, because you follow the team, and the emotional disconnect as a fan to Leeds United has been there for so fucking long, guys. And he brought it back, and he put it right back in your heart again, and he made you proud to be a Leeds fan. After years of being left down, we don't give two shits what anyone says. I couldn't give a toss. But he made you proud to say, tell you what, piss off when people are saying you. He made you proud. We were Leeds United, dirty Leeds, who everyone hates, when everyone's second favourite team. And there's only one man on fucking planet who can do that, and it's Marcelo Bielsa. And he'll do it wherever he goes from now to the end of his career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wherever he goes, he's just liquid gold. He's just liquid gold. And Guardiola loves him. Pochettino, all these top managers have taken something from studying him, watching him, learning from him. And yeah, he's not perfect. He's got facets to his game to his coaching style that annoyed us. Tyler Roberts playing all the time, like you said, conceding a lot of goals, but the football was beautiful. And the manner of the man, just the bloke in general, was just so humble, down to earth. Someone you do not see.
You listen to Mark Jackson talk about.
Love him.
Listen to Mark Jackson talk about the detail he used to have on throw-ins. Any restart, where players are supposed to be, the angles are supposed to make, the runs are supposed to make, how to make themselves available. Like you compare that to now, and chuck it down the line or chuck it inside. The detail, the methodical. And imagine going from Jess to Jesse Marsh. Honestly, I know it's not fair to compare any manager in methodical detail. Like when other teams had a throw in, we'd have a man mark the throw-in taker. Because invariably, you throw it inside and people kick it back to the throw-in taker who booted down the line or saying, we marked the throw-in taker. No one else, I'm not seeing anyone else do that because everyone was man-marked. You're coming back on the pitch a second, I'm man-marking you as well. Yeah. It's one of the first things I noticed about me. It's crazy. I thought, well, hang on, we're marking the throw-in taker. And I thought, maybe he's there to put him off throwing. It was nothing to do with that. It's from when he come back on the pitch so you could man-mark him again. He's just genius.
It's the minute details, isn't it?
People don't work all right and go, oh, but Bielsa sits you down and goes, right, before he came here, he said Cooper, Phillips, Dallas are going to be the best three players in the league. He said that to Leeds United before he even come.
Yeah, he did.
And he got it spot on because he knew what he could get out of them. He sits you down and goes, I'm going to make you this, but you have to do everything I say. You do everything he says, and that's it. Yep. And I say, and what happened as a result? They reached the pinnacle of all of their careers. So talk about murderable injuries, fault, whatever. Just because last season, Bielsa said, I need a new squad. And the board didn't do it. They got him Firpo and James at the time, who neither were good enough because Austin was crap. What Bielsa should have done, the right thing he should have done is walk away in that summer, and then all this other rubbish everyone wants to say about him now wouldn't be said.
Yeah, and the fact that if Daniel Farke does get us promoted, we ain't still going to feel the same way as we did with Bielsa. No way. Farke's going to have to do a lot more to get any tears from Matty. Oh, Matty.
Just a quick one. Yeah, that's all right, mate. Danny puts links in chat. He's also put White Snake Bites as well in there. Who's a really good guy as well. So
yeah, he's there. Yeah, get over and watch White Snakes. Yeah, he's good.
Big Leeds fan over in New Zealand.
Great voice.
Yeah, he has got a really good voice. So go check him out. There's his link. Please, if you don't know who he is, mate, go subscribe over there, please. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think that's it on the Bielsa. Yeah, hope you're doing well, buddy. So question of the week this week. we were to and fro-in of what to come out, because it's been the most hectic week, hasn't it? With a bad result, everyone being down, and then obviously the press conference through a lot of people. I knew in my heart of hearts he was good. I said he will pick Darlow, but basically the question of the week is, how big is tomorrow's game, lads? And I know that sounds crazy. That was their choice. I think it was a bit of a lame question, but that's question of the week anyway. So that is it. How huge is tomorrow? It is just, in the terms of must win in the dictionary, Luton v Leeds United is right there. This is the biggest must win I can remember in a long, long time. We win, we go back top of the league until the other two play, which is a massive psychological boost for us. Puts a little bit of pressure on them. Don't get me wrong, I feel like we're the ones with the pressure this week, but we do our business. That's all we can do now. But this is huge, isn't it, Adam? This
was supposed to be last week's game, wasn't it? Like, come back from the international break. We fell to pieces last season. Now we can show, like, there's Nonto's coming back, Ampadu's coming back, Nonto's fit, Ampadu's coming back. This is the game to show it. We didn't do it, so now it's kicked onto this one. But there's like little bits of hope in it, isn't there? There's Nonto's fit, Ampadu much fitter for the 60 minutes. Firpo comes back in, Tanaka comes back in. Hopefully, there's 4 changes. Darlow, there's 5 changes. Is there 5 changes? Firpo, oh no, Ampadu's already 4 changes. 4 changes a team we can make. That's a lot of changes for Farker. Yeah. Everyone fresh, another week, and thankfully, the best thing that's happening at the moment is we're losing this. We're playing poorly with the opposition playing the same way against us and beating us the same way. This higher press, well, everything we were saying earlier. So how do we change to overcome that? It's not like everyone. It's not like teams are going, oh, that team's outplaying you in football. This team's going long against you. That team's going direct against you. That team's back. Okay, so they're all doing the same thing. So we've got a focus to change what we do to get over that. So that's why tomorrow's massive. We've had the week. Players coming back. We've got 3 games next week. Tomorrow, I mean, the thing is, there is other results involved, but like if we go there and lose, I can't see anything but playoffs. I just can't. I can't. And that's how big tomorrow is for me,
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the worry. And we talk about Darlow coming into the game. I'm worried for him. I'm hoping he proves us all right. You know, I don't want no mistakes from him, because we will see Melier back in. So I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the game itself. Again, why are we worried about Luton when they're 23rd in the league? I think we just need to get back to what Daniel Farker said in the presser. We need to be controlling and dominating that ball more. We've not been doing it. We've been sloppy, giving the ball away, possession away to. It's not us normally. We're normally really high on the stats wise. We're really in the 70s for possession sometimes. So we need to get back to that. Massive call, Adam, like you said, on the team lineup. Do you want to bring the team lineup, Matty?
Can do, mate.
So this is Adam's, and I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's perfect.
I'm going to say, and Matty's not going to like me for this, but I think it's going to be Ampadu and Gruev in that midfield. I think it's away from home, and I think he's going to revert back to the midfield that started the season to tighten things up.
No, I don't agree. I really don't. I think it's just limiting us too much, that. I really do.
Why is Rothwell not in there?
Well, Adam, you're thinking, aren't you? Ampadu's going to play. They're going to want him away from home. He's captain and all that. Yeah. I understand that. And then Tanaka's going to come in for the fact. So I think it's one of them. I think if it's at home, it might be a different story. But there's also
it's just something he said a few press conferences ago, Matty, when he said, I won't play Nonto unless I put Gruev in there. I understand Ampadu's back now. Is that a case then he can play Ampadu and Nonto at the same time? I don't know. It's just something he said that's got me thinking Gruev's going to come back in. And that was his favoured midfield to start the season, was Ampadu and Gruev. That's just what's got me thinking it's going to be them two in midfield.
That was his favourite midfield. You're absolutely right. Tanaka was the same player.
They're available now.
Tanaka was the same player in the season. He picked Gruev over him every single game.
Tanaka's not been right good past couple of games, and I'll be honest. We've got to be honest. He hasn't, has he? So that's my thinking. That's my thinking. Apart from that, that's
just seeing what Steve's put in there. Yeah, Darlow's in regardless who put him in, but for me it's Farker. Not knowing the 10, I agree. I think if he plays anywhere near his capabilities, he will keep that shirt till the end of the season. I would say Aronson coming in his rotation, or maybe even just 20 minutes. Tanaka and Gruev. I like Gruev, but I think it'll be Tanaka and Ampadu. Yeah, I think it's going to be like for like in terms of home games as we've seen this season. I do think Rothwell will come in, but it's hard to say now because he hasn't had many times this season, have we? We've had everyone sort of fit. You know, you've had Strauch out, Swampert who's been able to play, plus Tanaka and Rothwell in middle. If everyone stays fit now, it's quite hard to see how Rothwell will get minutes. Will he play him at home? I think he should, but then he's going to have to Campbell out or Tanaka out when you can change too much sometimes. You want a stable midfield really that can play home and away. There's only 7 games left. You want that team to be sort of set, but right now the players that have been playing, the best players we've had this season aren't in form. So looking at that side, mate, I agree with most of it. I think Solomon should come out for Ramazani, and I know that might be a bit of a wild take, but I know how good Ramazani is. We all know how good Ramazani is. And I know he hasn't been showing it off the bench, but he hasn't been getting mass minutes. He hasn't had mass minutes for a long time. And I think if you play Nonto in the 10, we saw early in the season, Nonto and Ramazani are like liquid dynamite when they're together. They are brilliant pairing together. We saw it with Nonto and Somerville last season. I don't like comparing it to Somerville, but he had that Nonto played with a smile on his face, and there were a bit of freedom there, and him and Somerville had some really good chemistry, and I feel like he had that. We saw it until he got injured at Watford. He scored that goal from outside area, he did Ramazani, where their keeper did a Melia, really. And up until that point, them two look really good together, and we haven't seen it since. That could be a little connection that gets us up. That could be massive. So I would start him over Solomon, Adam. Go on, mate.
Do you think Adam, do you think the week's breaks done us okay? Do you think that maybe that's probably why we'll start some, because we've had a week off?
I think that's exactly it. I think if Solomon had 2 difficult international matches and still started last week when Ramazani was here the whole time. So if Ramazani isn't going to start last week, he's not going to get a look in this week. That's what I think. And also Ramazani's, I'm all for, by the way, that Ramazani is a very good footballer and he's not doing much off the bench. I appreciate that. But I think some players just can't do it off the bench. They struggle to get up to the pace of the game. It's just some players' things. They need to actually start games. The thing is, we will need Ramazani between now and the end. Like, I wouldn't start Solomon in this game and Borough. So I think you do take a choice of the one of the two.
He's got to start in one of them, hasn't he, Ramazani?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but there is an argument, of course, for Ramazani playing ahead of James. James isn't doing much of late.
Yeah,
left foot shot thing.
But he's always a threat, isn't he, James? That's why I think he's the one. If anyone drops out, I think it's Solomon myself.
He is a threat, but that's because he's lightning, and I think Ramazani can also do that role. So, and I think the best point you made is about the Nonto Ramazani link up. I think them two together is a big point. I think it's easy to play Ramazani. Yeah. Ramazani's not amazing defensively, but Solomon doesn't even try defensively. So that's another thing. So I can see it, but he's not going to do it, is he? He's just no chance.
Ramazani is quite good defensively, and I agree that, Adam. I'd like to see him on that right wing. It gives us he's a lot more skillful than James. I'm not saying he's got the pace, but he's not a slow player.
No, he's not slow. He's still really dynamic, but he's got that touch, and he can beat him. I mean, James beats a man, but he beats a man with 5 yards. Ramazani can beat a man in 2-3 yards. It's a different type of skill and ability. Yeah, by the way, importantly, this is my starting 11 though. Like I'm not going to what is Fark going to do. This is what I would start. I think that's all we can go on. And this is what I would start. I think Solomon has been off it, but I don't think Ramazani's match sharp enough to come in for this one. For me, I think I know he's not going to be any more match sharp. Give him half out into this game. I don't do a fart thing and just make subs for the sake of it and plan for it. But this would be my 11. I've got obviously Snack come back in, Ferber come back in, Nonto starting, and Darlow starting. So I think this is quite a balanced team. I'd play Ampadu every day of the week. I think in this sort of game, longer balls, he's better in the air than the other centre midfielders, and I think he's better at cleaning up those second balls as well. I think he's got to start. He is our captain, and I think he's a good captain. I do, and I think he'll be much better for that 60 minutes. Like I want to start.
Minutes,
yeah. I think otherwise we're wasting that 60 minutes from last week a little bit, which we had. That
probably the only positive to come out of last week.
Yeah,
is that Ampadu plays 60 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will say about Seasiders TV, guys. If just a shout out for Boss Nass there on Seasiders TV. guys, jump over and give him some love, because he's doing Seaside TV, and it's is it Bridlington Town. I watched a few of his streams, and it don't get a lot of views, but to have the balls to go and do a content for a small club like that. They are struggling as well at Bridlington Town, but any support, I'm sure Boss Nass will appreciate that.
Yeah,
so get over to Seasiders TV and smash a subscribe on there for us, please, lads.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Danny's banged it in chat, mate. So go check Boss Nass out. Lovely. What I'll say is I've seen a few people mention Ramazani played in the FA Cup and didn't play too well. I've seen people this week, since Darlow got announced they were playing, also say the same about Darlow. What I will say is it's hard to really judge them on those performances because they're not playing with a full strength side. So Darlow in that FA Cup game wasn't playing with his that natural forward play every game. It's a much changed side for the games that Darlow's played in. Ramazan in the FA Cup tie wasn't great, no, but he's playing with a rotated side. There were 10 changes for that Millwall game. I don't like the narrative that because they play poor in an FA Cup game means they're not ready to play in this. And like Sean Healy said as well, he hasn't looked good when he's played. He's not match sharp and all that, but he's only going to get that by playing Ramazani. So for me, if you're good enough to come on for half an hour, he's fit, he's a professional footballer, he's scored a fucking burnabout, he's fit enough to play opening 60, 70 minutes for me as Ramazani. And I don't think, and I'm a big fan of Solomon, right? He's been off it a little bit, but a lot of them have. A lot of this team's been off it for weeks now. But for me, at Ellen Road, I was there. Solomon doesn't deserve to play tomorrow. For me, in my opinion, I would drop him. You've got Ramazani, who hasn't kicked up a fuss for a player that's played in La Liga, played against Real Madrid. You've had no murmurings. He always running up and down touchline, game after fucking game in Championship with a smile on his face. Give him a fucking start tomorrow. Because Solomon doesn't deserve to play after last week, because I thought he was turgid. I thought it was his worst performance in Leeds, and he won't track him back. So for me, you let Ramazani have a go. And it's just my opinion. And people will say, he's not going to be fit otherwise. We've got 7 games to go, And for me, you've got a gem on the bench. You look at it and you've got a potential gem there who would be like a new signing if he gets going. He's only going to get going, lads, if he lets him fucking get going. So that's where I am on it with Ramazani. Let the leashes off. There's a player there. Let him start. That's my. I can
see your point there, Matty, and I probably agree with you there. Even though I agreed with Adam's lineup,
I
think half of him is agreeing because it's probably what we will do, Fac. But
it will.
In hindsight,
it will.
I would like to see Ramazani on that left hand side, definitely. But I said to we had that conversation, and I said it on my last video. He didn't make changes in the Millwall game, but he should have made changes for the QPR game. He should have. That's where then you're rotating your squad and you're bringing your larges in and your non-toes in to give them that game time so they're fresh. This is my hope now for the last few games, because Nonto looks well up for it. He looks the one who's going to take the bit between his teeth, so to say.
I think Nonto can say transformative already. I won't say it again. He can be transformative for this team. I think he can get involved more in the build-up. He's a better footballer than Aronson. He'll be more willing to take it in tight spaces, and he will get involved in the wide play and make it 3v2s and create triangles, Bielsa style. I think he'll take all that on himself. Like, we're so reliant on Rutter getting us up the pitch. I mean, that's how many times did Rutter have to take us up the pitch 30 yards by himself by spinning a couple last season? He did it so often. You don't realise what you're missing till it's gone. I know we all saw it, but actually how important that was. So now teams have changed how they play against us. I think Nonto will be the key to unlocking how we go forward. I think Nonto could change his team so much by the way he plays football in that role, the way he plays that role.
I'm just looking. You think he missed Firpo at the weekend?
Yes. I do think
100%.
I think Firpo's a bit of a leader inside as well, but I don't think that's critical. But he's just another threat. He gets forward. His time of his runs and where he runs inside or outside, I think is massive. It's all that stuff. A lot of the off the ball. I think, massively missed him. I think he's that's why, as I say, last week was supposed to be the big match, the big moment, get back into it after last season's come back from international break and rubbish. But now I think this has to be that game. And luckily, we have 3 or 4, 5 changes to make, and we can see a change.
Yeah.
Just really quickly before I forget, my mate Macaulay is in. You know, like I like to shout people out as well. My mate Macaulay is in from Smart Pipe Plumbing. Congrats on 2K. Thanks a lot, Macaulay, mate. It means a lot. I've just put his link down. He's a plumber. He's absolutely mint at his job. He does a lot of he'll have to sponsor my channel one day. There's a lot of TikToks and videos on YouTube. His YouTube's got nearly 12,000 subscribers. He does videos while he's plumbing. It's really good stuff. Massive Leeds United fan. So if anyone out there wants any plumbing doing, he's your guy. Lives in Leeds, massive Leeds fan, like I say, and go check his content out. I find myself when I get sick of the Leeds. I've watched it this week as well. I've been sick of the Leeds United content because I've been pissed off. Been watching Macaulay under people's sinks, plumbing toilets and sinks, and so go check out my mate Macaulay. He's a top guy. Give him a sub. And yes, any of his plumbing works.
You get 10% off if you subscribe to Wilco White and Imagine Not Being Leeds.
Yeah, man. But no, great, absolutely great. But yeah, have you got what else you want to touch on regarding the game? I think that's pretty much rattled up that sort of.
How do you think Darlow's going to do?
Yeah, well, you know what it is with Darlow, right? I've heard a lot of people say if he makes a mistake, everyone's going to kick off, and it's for me. There'll be no kick-off because we're expecting mistakes from Melier. People are already thinking Darlow's not a decent player. I don't know where that comes from, by the way. I don't understand why people think he's a poor player. But what I will say is on Darlow, this is the best time we could play him. He's coming off the back of actually playing 2 90-minute performances for Wales. He's played pretty good, I think, in both games, or steady.
That's all we need.
Steady's fine.
And every time he's coming to play for Leeds, the odd time he's coming to play for Leeds, it's only been the odd cup game where he's coming in cold after months in the wilderness. He's playing now after playing 2 games for Wales. It's the freshest and most match sharp he's going to be. And if we can get 7 steady games out of Darlow, we're not asking him to reinvent the wheel. I keep saying that to him. We're expecting him just to be safe, steady, and experienced. He commands his box. The Welsh lads know exactly. You'll think as well. He knows a lot. He knows the Welsh lads' movements inside out. He'll be looking. I'm hoping any, like balls that come in box that he can come out and clear pretty quick. Like you see Melier hold it in it.
Oh, can you imagine that?
Imagine
comes in, he just comes and grabs it.
But what I also know is, I know they train with each other at Leeds United, so maybe I'm a bit too much into it, but he'll be looking for James straight away. There'll be that synergy. They play at Wales. Maybe I'm overhyping the Wales connection. I don't know, but I just feel the more little connections you have like that in a squad, in an 11, it's great. And there'll be potentially 4 of the Welsh internationals playing together tomorrow, potentially, which is brilliant.
Just watch how quick he gets the ball moving as well. Passes it straight out, no messing about. No waving at your mum in crowd while you've got a ball. All that is straight out.
I think he's played less games than Melier, less senior games, but he feels experienced. He's been around football much longer. He's been around, played for Newcastle, etc. Played a lot of championship football. He's quite championship hardened. I think he seems quite a calm, cool head, and he doesn't need to do anything flamboyant. He just needs to save what he's supposed to save and catch what he's supposed to catch. That's all we're asking.
So are we on agreement we can see him in the team for the last 7 games?
I can't see. I mean, he'd have to make you can't go back to Melier now, regardless. I mean,
he did say, didn't he? He don't like rotating his goalkeepers. So
no, you can't.
You can't, can you?
You can't. No team does, do they?
No.
I think he's gonna surprise people. Me, I really do.
I hope so.
Honestly, he just doesn't. Just don't make mistakes. Save what you're supposed to save and catch what you're supposed to catch. Kick where you're supposed to kick it quicker. Release the ball. Like that's honestly the real basics of. And I think that's just. I think that's the level he is, and I think he'll do it all like properly, and that's fine.
Yeah, no,
and that's me worry there, Arthur. He makes a mistake, and it gives Farker the chance to put Melier back in, and I don't want that.
Don't go there, mate. That's not even thinking.
It won't be fair, would it? It won't be fair. For me, it's to make 3 mistakes to be dropped.
The decision has been made right. I mean, do you think Mez is on the bench, or do you reckon he takes him out fully and puts
he's on the bench? He said it. He's on the bench.
All right, fair enough.
I think if it had been at home, he might have taken him out of the squad.
Signed dugout with all fans behind and giving him jip.
For me, I said it. I'm not bothered. I put Cairns on the bench and I drop him out of the squad just to give him a bit of a break as well. Because something's not right. But I'm contradicting myself there because I said it's lack of ability, not mentally. But
just before we go on to the last segment of the show, which is just the start chats, basically the chats chat. Basically, I just want to say, obviously, that it's going to be a physical game. You know, they've got Morris up front. I think it's Adebayo up front. They're going to bully our defenders if we're not on it. It's physical. They've scored a lot of goals from corners, as we already said. Leeds have to be up for the fight. I always go on about mentality. The pressure is on. It's on everybody. The pressure's on Darlow because of how heightened the situation around the goalkeeper is now. The pressure is there more now because he's only just made the decision when it could have been made months ago. So now the pressure's on Darlow 100%, right? The pressure's on the team because of the position we're in now. Everyone, you know, chances are we lose this game. There's only 6 left. We may not catch top 2 then. No, I know there's still plenty of time to go. There'll be 18 points to play for, but the game's running out. This has to be a win. The boys are under mass pressure. You let them have 2 days off to try and calm things down, go away, whatever you want to do, try and stop thinking about football. They ain't gone those 48 hours without thinking about football. It's all they've thought about all week. I spoke to I spoke to Stephen Corker on my Ups and Downs episode of the night. If you haven't seen it, go check out. Great insight. I pushed him on Leeds United at the end and asked him how those lads will be feeling. The same voice they heard last season, talking towards the end. As it's slipping away, Farker will have been saying, come on, boys. All the stuff he knows as a man, as a manager to sort of reinvigorate that side and get him out of the rut. He'll be saying similar things now. How do you buy into that when the same man saying the same stuff he said last year and it didn't work? And he said it's a problem. He said it is a problem, not what Leeds fans want to hear. It's a problem, but the lads have got to work through it. He thinks Leeds will get through it. Do
you think Farker saying what he said at press conference about is 100% confident that Leeds will be playing Premier League next season? Do you think that's the sort of he's laying down a challenge to the players? Possibly. You know, now I've said it. Now you know, got to go out and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
Otherwise, you know, it's on him then. So
I think he's trying to show. I think he's trying to show his belief. I think he's trying to say, look what I believe will happen beyond anything else. You know, I've never said this before. What's new? I know what I'll do. I'll say I 100% believe it. Look, everyone, something's new. This will work out now. You know, like I don't think there's much more. But because he can't say last season, because if we didn't go up, he'd still be here. And everyone going, hang on, you said that. This season, he knows if we don't go up, he's not going to be here. It's much easier to say. And I think the psychology behind it was a kick up the arse like. Basically, he's saying, I've got no doubt. That's all he's saying. I think that's as far as it goes. I think it was all about him. I think a lot of what Farker does is all about him, to be honest. And I think, I think that's a psychological thing that he's like, you know, buys himself time, blah, blah, blah. We're definitely going up. Even he didn't quite, I don't know if he quite said this, but even through the playoffs, we'll go up through the playoffs if we don't automatically. You know, like he's just.
Like Steve says here, what do you expect? What he said, but like Steve said, what we're supposed to say. What's he supposed to say? That we're not going to go. Like, I get it.
Whilst that's fine, he didn't have to say anything. You know, like that's what he says. You know, usually managers, they're politicians. They go around the houses. Very rarely they go, right, this is definitely going to happen. Anything, selection, anything. You know, who's available. Sometimes they lie about that. So that's not, you know, like you can't just make up and go, oh, what's he supposed to say? It's fine. Usually, and that's absolutely right. If he's going to say something, he's got to say it. But usually they say absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they normally push it away.
I think he can look at it different ways, but I think he's showing that he's got confidence in this group to get it over the line as well. You can look at it in so many different ways. It's just whether it's just going to come back to haunt him.
The thing is, I think if it's confidence in the group thing, say it in February. You know, if it's something, I think it's just about, it was just for him. It's just go, look how confident I am, everyone. Got nothing to worry about. Like, it's just some statement for him, I say. If he thinks.
Can I ask a chat a question?
Of course, go.
How many points do you think we can afford to drop from now till end of season?
No.
So we're on 81 points now, aren't we? And there's 21 left to play for, which would put us on 102. Yeah?
I've said 2.
I think we need 98 I think we need 97 to finish second, which is fucking nuts. So 16. So I think we can drop 5.
5 points. Wow.
No, I don't. Now I've said that, I don't. I've changed my mind. Stop asking me questions.
It seems a lot, doesn't it? 5 seems a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
4 points.
It does, yeah.
I think the thing they play each other, I think is massive. I think they're both playing. One of them's playing for 2 less points than Leeds. They might both play for 2 less points. One of them might be playing for 3 less points, depending on that result. So that's quite a big thing, right? So that's straight away. The problem is, you look at it. 5 games ago, we were 7 points ahead of Burnley. 5 games ago. Now we're drawing on points because they won all 5 and we only got 8 points out of 5 games. It doesn't take much. Like they are in some form. You know, I'm waiting for squeaky bum time to happen for them. They're just breathing.
Bear in mind, Sheffield United and Burnley are going to drop points.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
One of them is
going to drop points.
One of them is, yeah.
So we
need to be a level at least, don't we, Sean? By that fixture. By that fixture, we need to be at least where we are now. Not have lost any more points on them. It is, but Burnley have closed that a little bit now. What are we, 8 or 9 in front? I remember at one point we were bloody 20 in front of everyone, weren't we? Goal difference has closed down significantly with them, but I don't believe that, mate. Bob Young, 92 points gets us promoted. I don't believe that. That's only 11 points. That means we dropped 10. There's no way we go up if we drop 10 points, Bob. If you're looking at 92 points just off the bat before a ball's kicked, you probably do think 92 is enough. But it's not no more, Bob. If we drop 10 points, mate, we ain't going up.
Burnley and Sheffield United have to have a massive drop-off for that to happen.
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
No.
But anyways, moving on. Let's get on to some of the chat. So Gavin said earlier on, I've been starting some that have popped up. So if I've ignored some of your comments and you're in here, then don't worry about it. If you're not in here, then I've just ignored you. And I do apologise. I love you. Can see Ampadu and Gruev starting in midfield as looking for a 0-1. What do you reckon of that, guys? Do you reckon he'll be looking nicking a 1-0?
I said Gruev and Ampadu. Is he going to try and tighten it up a little bit like he did when the West Brom game at the beginning of the season? You know, everything, but he just sort of just wanted to just reset, tighten things up, go again. Is it one of those? I don't know. Can we afford to do that? I don't know. But that's my thinking. I think he will start Gruev with Ampadu.
It definitely won't be Rothwell because it's going to be 2 very, very much. They're always DMs, to be honest. Regardless, like even Rothwell plays a little bit higher, but it's all. None of them ever get beyond the ball. No one ever does a click roll. You don't see many assists or goals in free. You don't see hardly any assists or goals in open play from our centre fielders. It's just not the way. He's not the way he uses them. They're always DMs, even Rothwell. So, yeah, he's definitely going to play Rothwell. And it goes, well, do we need Snackers passing as surety on the ball, or do we just play Gruev, who's brilliant at tracking his man? I could very much see Gruev. I know I did to start 11. I could very much see Gruev starting. Very much. Like Gruev. It'll be Ampadu +1, no doubt about that. And I can see it being Gruev. I think I want Snacker, but I can see him starting Gruev, definitely.
I just don't see a world where we're struggling, pressure's on, and there's 2 games back to back where Tanaka's on bench. I just don't see it. Anyways, just don't see it all. Gloves of Sweet Science and Danny have just wanted to basically appreciate Joe Blackburn for all hard work ahead of the Creators Cup. Sean's not playing due to injury. Adam is playing due to just playing, even though he wasn't too sure.
I'm being old.
But yeah, Joe Blackburn, I know he's gone now. If you're watching it back, if not, let him know we've mentioned him. Absolute legend. I've texted him today. He doesn't do well with compliments. But he's done fantastic in setting up this Creators Cup. A lot of people I know didn't think he'd be able to pull it off because what he's done is pretty remarkable, to be fair, to get the majority of the content creators to play. And I'm really looking forward to it. Cannot wait. Shift a bit of weight before I play, or I'm going to throw up and look a twat, but it's going to be amazing. And it's great raising money for charity for prostate cancer. Yeah, I'm really excited. Whether people are playing or not, you get your tickets, donate where you can and make it. The reason we're doing it is for charity, so let's make as much money as we can for the cause. Thank you very much.
Incredible.
It is Andy Rowe. So can Darlow handle the unwanted pressure, added pressure? Now, I assume what he means with that, the unwanted added pressure, is it's not just to swap your goalkeeper because a keeper's slightly out of form. Let's be fair, the pick of Darlow over Melier, TalkSport interview, Sky Sports interview. I mean, straight after his actual press conference, he's getting that interviewed by Sky Sports, right? This is the nation are watching Darlow now. Do you know? They're literally, and they've been watching Melier, he said, and this is bigger than just a team swapping the keeper out. This is huge, and that is where the unwanted pressure comes from. How do you think? Do you know what I mean?
Where's the Skype? I mean, it must be part of the package of media. He had to do that interview.
But he never does normally. He don't normally do it after the presser.
I'm hopeful that he had to, because what the hell was that about otherwise? Why was he suddenly on the Sky Sports?
I didn't think he needed to be doing it, mate. I won't lie.
I think even if you have to do it, he could have spoke. Now I've not actually watched it because I thought it was also unnecessary. I think you could speak in a slightly different way and not, because I think it has piled the pressure on Darlow more so that suddenly the whole bloody country is talking about it. But I mean, there's always with Leeds United, the pressure is so ramped up anyway. Melier, standing out. It's always a big thing. It's the games on tomorrow morning or lunchtime. So yeah, I just don't know why that interview happened. I guess it had to.
It must have done because it was bizarre to see, but yeah, it did anyway. Lee Sawyer, my good friend from back in the day. I know he isn't going to do this, Lee, but it's a great point. Play a 4-3-3. Use Ampadu as a holding. Play Tanaka and Rothwell, box-to-box midfielders, as they are. Tanaka was a box-to-box.
This is the best thing you could do. Absolutely. This whole build-up, everything, patterns, it just opens everything up. Suddenly you've got more players to work off, more players to build up through, more players options to go to what the wide players. Imagine, go wide right, Tanaka helps them build up. Go wide left, Rothwell helps in the build-up. You can still sit two back.
It'd be outstanding, wouldn't it?
I mean, it just makes so much sense to me. This Aaron runs around a lot. It's great defensively. Fantastic. Well, okay. If you're that worried about that, play a centre midfielder then.
Yeah. And that we could have done with that last week, to be honest.
Yeah.
The 4-3-3, just to get a bit more control in that midfield. So I'm all for that formation.
Yeah, I'd love that. But see, it won't happen. But for the side we've got, it would work. It'd work brilliantly. Andy wrote, I've doubts with Ampadu. He failed. Chelsea player, lost 3 relegation battles, but yet 3 weeks ago he was supposed to be Leeds' most influential player. What do you reckon of that, Sean? It's harsh. It's harsh with the relegations in it. It's harsh. I mean, look at the sides he were at. He was still probably one of their better players. I know what at Sheffield United.
The thing but these were all out on loan. And look at the teams who were going to that were he were on loan. This is now his home.
Yeah, it's his home. Yeah.
He's our player. He's found his feet. He's his captain. It's a total different scenario for me from when he were at Chelsea. So I know where it is with Ampadu. I think if we get up into Premier League, I think he'll be still key. He'll be one of his key players in the Premier League. So no, I'm not worried at all that he's got some few relegations under his belt at all.
10% of the players playing professional football today are failed Chelsea players. That's a fact. It's not a fact.
Yeah. They went on that mad run, didn't they? Signing every young player they could.
Absolutely signed everyone. They had 40 players on loan one season, saying ridiculous. You can't. That's not saying to chuck it in. I'm fine. And as you say, it was all loans. It was all over the place. A lot of lower half relegation teams. I think what I've seen from Ampadu, and by the way, Ampadu is a much better captain he was last season for us right now. Like, he's a much more influential player, and I've got no doubts about him as a captain at all.
No.
Yeah, I agree, Danny. I think he probably would be a bench player in the Prem.
And that's, by the way, if we get that far, 100% great, like brilliant.
Who's going to be his captain?
The new signing, the 40 million midfielder.
Might bring someone in. To be fair. Bob Young, serious question. Matty, does Bamford make the bench tomorrow?
Yeah, he does.
Who for?
I think he'll just shift it around. I think he'll have Bamford and Joseph on the bench. I think
Gillivorga then comes out.
Yeah. Well, Voba should be back fit as well, so he'll probably make the bench.
We're at full strength. We're at full tilt now. No excuses. No excuses now. Full tilt.
You could probably see Schmidt dropping back out because he's not.
Yeah, that's the one.
And as much as I'm not a Bamford fan, you all know that on this channel. I wouldn't be bothered if I didn't see Bamford in a Leeds shirt again. There is scope for him being the sub if need be, rather than Joseph. There really is, because as much as I don't think Bamford's got the legs, I don't think he's got much to offer. Joseph's fresher, quicker, but Joseph's well out of form. And I'm all about, if the players are in form, whoever's underneath them have to be given a go. So I am advocating Bamford coming on, if I'm honest. But if you're talking giving Joseph 10, 15 minutes, if Bamford's fit, it's somewhat different. I wouldn't be against him getting 10, 15 minutes if need be, but I do think he's only there as a last resort, lads.
I don't think we're that bothered, are we, Matty? If they come on and score, who cares?
Oh, mate, 100%.
I'm all about changing it up though right now. I'm all about
Leeds United. I don't give a crap about Bamford.
It's gone stale though, hasn't it, lads? It's gone stale recently. So I asked about if he changes any wild selections at this point. Let's just fucking go for it.
It's a bit semantics saying it's a bit semantics, but Joe's out of form. I don't know that. Like he went. I know he's under-21s. Everyone say that, but
he's not been in form. So.
But I think whatever form or not form, him being a sub doesn't work for him. He can't. He's not very good at it. Some players just aren't very good at it. Bamford, whoever don't, put Ramazani up front, whatever. I don't care. Like just whatever. Joseph coming on does not aid us in any way at the moment. He's not a good substitute. He does. I think the under-21s, lower level, blah blah blah. He's starting games, scoring goals. And that's probably better. He's better bet for him. Not saying he's going to start for Leeds United, but whatever as a substitute, he has no impact other than a negative one.
I agree. Let me just bring this one up. Richard said earlier, I am not subscribed to this. It is too good. How do I become a member, Matty? I haven't got memberships, mate. I had it before and I took it down because I didn't like doing it. I might do it in future. Right now, there's no membership. So you are subscribed, Richard, I assume, because you're on every single stream. So you're subscribed, I think. I'm sure you are, but you're not a member. Nobody's a member. I haven't got memberships. I had it. I took it out. I didn't feel comfortable with it. Maybe in the future, I will let you know. I've been asked twice today, which is nice, but no, you are subscribed. I'm pretty sure of that, though, buddy. So what did Becky say earlier? Becky said it's massive. It's going to be an on-toss start. I just thought that was a great game. Aronson must be dropped. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we could talk about the 4-3-3, saying it's probably the best way going forward, but it'll be a 4-2-3-1. It will be non-toss to start. I think looking at the way he spoke at the presser, I think that's happening. So I think you'll be happy with that, Becky. I think that's definitely happening. Like Nice says as well, why is it taking until game 39 to make this change? Any thought on that? Why is it taking so long?
Daniel Farke, he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Stubbornness. In it, Adam, stubbornness of Daniel Farke.
I think.
You let Steve. Thank you, Steve.
I think ultimately with Nonto, I said in the stream the other day. I think it was on X when I was on there months ago. When we start Nonto in the 10, everyone go, why didn't we do? As soon as we do it once, everyone go, well, why haven't we been doing that the whole time? And I think that's what's going to happen. This whole thing of this mystical thing that Nonto's going to play slightly inside or start slightly inside. Or when the ball, the only difference will be for Nonto when the ball kicks off, he'll be more inside, and then actually he'll have a bit of a free roll. I say he will be transformative. I've said about 8 times now for this team. Build up, white wing play. He will change the team for the better in every single way. Because everyone said, by the way, so I think Luton has scored the second most goals from set pieces. They're really good at them, and that's our weakness. So we won't be able to stop it. So we've got to stop it at source a little bit and make sure the game's played a little bit higher up the pitch, have the ball a little bit more, and I think Nonto helps that massively.
I mean, they've only scored 35 goals and they've conceded 60 goals.
Yeah. No.
Come on, boys.
They've won 3 of the last 5, but they've only scored 5 goals in that time and conceded 4. They're really tough. But what they do is they have 3 at the back and they play 2 up front, and they'll play direct. And Doughty down the left's a threat. I think I've got the guy centre midfielder is a good player. They play in a way that is, if they're 7th in the form league.
The what?
They're 7th in the form league. I say if they're a football side, I wouldn't mind, but because the way they play, it's a threat to us. It's almost our Achilles heel.
I was looking at goals and assists for the squad, Adam, and even the goalkeeper's got an assist. One assist.
That's an indicator.
That's long ball game, isn't it?
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of direct play. There'll be a lot of second balls.
Yeah,
and Stroud and Rodon got to win their physical battles, and that's not easy. Morris was bullying Premier League centre backs last season. He's very good at it. He's competitive.
It's one of them, mate, in it where the form isn't on it, but the players on there. If the Luton players turn up, there's some talent in there and some really dogged players that could really cause us trouble. But
yeah, I mean, Mark McGuinness, he's there. Main centre back into Mark McGuinness. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists this season as well. So big lad.
He gets a lot of first contacts on corners because he's 6'4", 5 as well.
Yeah.
How come Rodon have to be on it? They have to be on it in this game.
Do you know what? I don't like. We did it against. We play zonal completely. I think there's a call sometimes play zonal, but have one player pick up their most dangerous player. I think we didn't do it against Millwall, and what's his face? 6'9", whatever he is, won loads of headers. there's nothing wrong with trying to pick up that one player and then play zonal with everyone else. Get Road on a struck on the one most dangerous player. Say, man, mark him, rest zonal. But I think we'll play exclusively zonal, and you can play around zonal a little bit. And I think we might come unstuck a little bit with that, because I think when you give a player a run and you're doing a standing jump, you're going to get beaten in the air. Sure. So
just got to cut out the silly mistakes. You know, Tanaka putting it out for a corner. We've got to stop it, giving away these dead balls are going to be, like you say, we can't be giving too many dead balls and free kicks away. 100%.
Yeah, we've got to try and play the game in their half, and their basis of everything they're going to try and do is play the game in our half. That's what they're trying to do, regardless.
2 minutes, Michael, and then I'll get on to that. Yeah, just quickly. Jake Thomas, Nonto would be perfect 10, low centre of gravity, good with both feet, good vision, can beat a man, can score goals. Do not want to see Amundsen in the team come 12 tomorrow. I agree, mate. We've all said that is the perfect 10. If we're going to play 4-2-3-1, he's the perfect one. Bob Young, did you hear Big Sam gloating about dropping Mellier? No need. He'll do well to remember he was dropped for non-football reasons. I like that, Bob. Yeah, out for
something about that.
He was slagging him off, but let's be fair, it was Sam Allardyce. But yeah,
that's all he's got. That's all he's got. A little moment spotlight. That's all he's got now, isn't he?
It is. Just before we sort of wrap it up, there's this comment as well from Callum, what he done not long ago, just linked with Souček from West Ham. Thoughts on it, guys? I would be all for that if we met the Premier. I don't know if you've seen it, Adam. Jay reported it today, but it's in a few articles. I've seen it dotted around as well on Leeds News Sphere.
Souček.
But don't get me wrong, Adam. All the likely promoted sides are in for him. Everton are in for him, and I could see him going to Everton as well. He's a Moyes at Everton, isn't he? Yeah, I could see that happening. But he'd be perfect. He'd give us a threat from set pieces. He's a strong ball carrier. Be a decent physical presence in the middle. We talk about Ampadu being a physical presence. There's a leveler between Ampadu and Souček. You know, there's a massive level.
I'll tell you what, Souček does not. He doesn't fit into the Fark team. He doesn't fit into the 4-2-3-1 at all. He's not technically good enough with the ball at his feet. He's a good runner off the ball. He's a good arriving late in the box. He's a 4-3-3 player, really. So if we, but then I how long Fark will be here, and if we do go up,
thanks,
anyway.
I
can see Everton being in for a lot of players that we're going to be in for.
They always are. Women in Prem,
they're a good pull at the minute at Everton, aren't they, with new stadium and Moyes there and that. They seem to have the money as well now. So.
And then just to sort of wrap it up, a couple of really nice comments from my mate Boss Nass, aka Dan. My favourite Leeds podcast now, Late Night Leeds, love that. Listen to it when I'm working, keep it up. Massive props on the 2 again. Thank you so much. We do think this show's different to others out there. We try and have a laugh. We try and incorporate different bits. And
it's my favourite as well.
It's my favourite too. It's my favourite show to do on my channel.
Too. That's 4 of us now.
It's put Min, what a community Matty has built here. A place for all opinions of LRC loving people. It's class. Honestly, boss, thank you so much, buddy. Means a hell of a lot that coming from you, mate. Thank you very much.
That's what we want, innit? That's what we did it for as well.
Exactly. So we're just going to look at the poll and end the poll. Oh my God, what a surprise. Calvin Phillips on 4%. Patrick Bamford on 9%.
Better be Bamford. Is it not
Stuart Dallas 23%. Rafinha wins it on 64%.
Can't believe it's not Bamford.
So next week we will be talking about Rafinha, and Adam's already ecstatic. It's
gonna be awesome.
You get to compile a highlights reel for Rafinha, mate. Has it got to be?
He's going to feature heavily.
Yeah, it is really. It ties him in knots.
Can we have him on his knees? Going across the pitch as well.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. After how long it took, but we'll set.
See him in stands at Brentford.
Oh, mate, brilliant footballer.
Class.
Sadly, probably no matter what happens, I'm 40 now. Lifetime, probably the best footballer I'll see at Leeds United.
Yeah, probably. And Bielsa started the pathway to Ballon d'Or. Someone said that earlier.
We peaked.
Someone said that earlier. We peaked. It's sad, isn't it? But yeah, so he wins the poll. So that's brilliant. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there, guys. It's been a great show. Absolutely loved it. Considering how negative I felt Saturday evening to where I feel now, I'm happy. I'm smiley.
Do we win tomorrow? We win
2-1. And you know 2-1 to me means I'd never go 2-1. So I'm nervous.
But now I'm feeling like positive.
Yeah, 2-1. Yes, have it.
I hope I'm wrong.
Nah,
2-1.
I'm going 2-1, a tight game. You know what's massively important? I know I hate saying it because first goals, but like I feel like the last 3 away games we've conceded first. We need to. That needs to change tomorrow away from home. It has to, because if we concede first tomorrow, I don't actually think we get a goal. So that 2-1's based on us scoring first. It has to happen. Gail, sorry I missed most of it. It's okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. Go back and watch it. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll still be there.
My favourite show. I love it. Cheers, Callum, mate. Much appreciated, buddy. You say that every show, but thank you.
This is how bad it's getting, Matty. I might even take a 1-0 and Bamford coming on and scoring with his left knee or something.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is for me now at the minute.
We'll take out. Make sure you get some throw-ins in that compilation, buddy. Says thank you as always. Massive support on that channel. Says you're always in. You're always showing love. Thank you so much, Jamie. Thanks a lot, Gail. Thank you, everybody in chat. Thank you. We've had massive. I think this is probably been record numbers since his first ever Leeds Live. Thank you so much for everyone. And yeah, we'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Look after yourself. Look after each other. And see you soon.
See you guys.